surface, and then it's got this quite thick velum
If we can get towards
that
the
goes all the way
head.
around the animal.
Yeah, bridge. First move's complete. Moving on to 30 meters.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, pilots. We can continue to move up the slope when you're ready.
Partial. Whenever you're ready.
All right, come on out, video. Sonar is still looking like a slope. Gonna push up.
Coming up with you.
So we're definitely still seeing this slope of volcanoclastics. It's still fairly set. It's actually very sedimented right now, sort of coating everything in view. So far on this little bit of the traverse we've done, we haven't, I don't think we've seen anything hydrothermally
0.2.
I saw a few hints of that orange staining back when we had zoomed in on the scallop 5-valve, whatever the census on that creature.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mary Jo. I didn't see that.
All right, another one of those.
It's marked in the dive log.
Zoom in here, video. Zoom in here, video.
Zooming in. There's another one of those.
Is that another tin pit? What is that?
No, that's that bivalve again.
Can we?
Is this the same individual or a different one?
No, this is a different one. Come on in, video.
So I don't think this one is a bivalve.
Oh, no, that looks like a bivalve. Look,
It's open.
Oh, wow! Oh my god, that was amazing.
Nice spot.
A little bit out.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that was definitely a bivalve. Go ahead, Chris.
Come down for you a little.
I think there's a possibility that that's what we collected, even though these are on rocks. I don't quite understand it, but it did something like that when we first got up to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was amazing. It had its whole mantle kind of extended out of the shell and then retracted it in a defensive mechanism. So that's the question. Is it the same thing that we collected? We've definitely just seen two of those scallop-like, or two or three of those scallop-like bivalves. But is the thing we saw first what we collected, the same as that?
Partial.
So why wouldn't it have retracted into its shell if it was the same organism when it was being picked up?
Come on in.
I think, so that's the thing, I think that was fully retracted, and that's why I don't think they're the same.
Sorry,
the one that we collected was sort of like an oblong shape, and you couldn't see any sort of, whereas the scallops were very clearly scallop shaped,
right,
you know?
Right.
So this
is
looks
uprooted.
like
Something uprooted?
a stalk of something, and on the stalk, maybe there's barnacles, but there's also an ophiuroid living commensally. But it definitely is the dead end of something.
Can we get that end, or are we max zoom?
That is max zoom.
All right, come on out.
That's great, Josh. Thank you.
Okay, video's going to swap out.
Copy.
Well, it's good to know that we're giving our biology team something to think about on this dive as well.
So our 30-meter move is almost done.
And how far is D2 moved?
We're continuing to traverse up this slope.
So we
I
have
don't know
70
about you
meters
guys on shore, but
from
to
where
me
we
this
were.
looks like it's even more sedimented than the other slope we
D2's probably
traversed
moved
to the east.
third 40, I'm guessing. I'm really not quite sure.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, once pilot's ready, putting in another 30 meters.
The darker sort of rocky material looks sort of more convincingly like manganese crusted volcanoclastic or other sediment otherwise to me than the last slope did.
So yeah, I think I'll let the ship finish its move, which is just a few meters off.
Like fragmented.
Yeah,
and then
I'd think about 280.
Okay.
Because he's been consistently at that heading, and it looks like that.
Yeah, and the current's pushing me to my star, like rotating me that way. So
yeah, with the tether sailing out. But I mean that makes sense in my sonar too.
I was I was 275 originally, but...
Oh, that's what you were? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So another 30 meters, 275?
I'm okay with that if pilot is.
Yeah, looks clear on sonar.
Nav bridge
Do
moving
we
complete.
think these guys might be intact?
Thank you, Bridge. Let's do another one, please. 30 meters, bearing 275, 0.2 knots.
I think this is hard to
30
say.
meters, bearing 275 at 0.2.
I was going to chime in and say now.
Good copy, thank you.
This looks sort of convincingly like rock.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It definitely convincingly looks like rock.
Nav bridge, move initiated.
Thank you.
But I'm not sure if it's obvious yet whether this is callus or in place flow.
To me, they look like somewhat sad, deflated pillows, but it's hard to know because there's so much stuff on top of them.
So that's what happens when I hit it with my toe.
Oh, what happened?
Lots of sediment.
Well, yeah, I saw
Lots
the
of
sediment,
sediment,
but did
but
you see any
it looks
movement?
like it broke up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Looks like, come zoom in a little bit. Video.
Okay, zooming in.
Yep. Keep coming in. Yeah, hold that. It looks like it broke up.
Can we zoom into that area that just got a little mini landslide to see what the inside of this stuff is?
Yep, that's what they're doing right now. It should be appearing on your screens very soon.
I'm going to come up a little.
Do you have any more zoom video? Come on in.
Yeah, zooming in more.
So that's...
Oh, that's not pretty.
There we go.
Yeah, this looks like sediment.
Yeah.
Manganese crusted sediment.
Yeah, it really does.
Very, very altered.
I have more zoom, I think.
Very altered flow.
that's fine.
Note to self, we don't want to collect this
There's
stuff
more
generally.
of that orange.
Yeah, it broke
Okay.
up. Like,
Okay.
that's a piece right there that I broke off.
Oh, thank you, pilots.
Yep.
That's really helpful.
All right, come on up, video.
Okay,
I gotta
zooming
push it.
out.
Yep. Full wide. I gotta push ahead.
Okay, full wide.
Coming up with you.
All right, so we're going to continue to traverse this slope.
Sorry, did the pilots say something that they observed, or did you mean that it was helpful that they broke that rock?
Oh, the pilots, let's see, the pilots did break up the rock, and it looked mainly just like, as you said, it looked like, very altered sediment.
Okay, thanks. I just wasn't sure if they had said something additional that I didn't hear.
Diva, did they say something else? I don't think so, but hopefully somebody else might be able to answer that.
What you got there?
Can we just zoom quickly?
Yep. I'm just gonna set up because we have a little bit of time.
Tunicate.
All right, come on in, video.
Okay, zooming in.
It's Tunicate Day.
All right, hold that.
Hold it.
Okay, yeah, so
Love
another
that
one of the megalodocopias, yeah. Both Deb and I agree, one of our favorite
come on in.
animals.
Okay, zooming in.
Did you say something about it looking like Pac-Man? Or
Oh,
Alright,
that's
hold
that
that.
works too,
'cause
definitely.
that's what I
Yep.
I was
look at it
thinking
opening
sock
its mouth.
puppet.
Oh, sock puppet, yeah. These are great.
It's a little hot.
Okay, great. Thank you, pilots.
Trying to...
Yeah, that's all right. I'm gonna move on in a second here.
These are predatory, Watchley?
Yep.
Have we ever seen anything in?
Come
them?
on out.
I don't
Okay,
think we have on this. Have
zooming
you,
out.
Diva, on another?
No, but they usually feed on small crustaceans and other animals, and they kind of wander in.
Copy.
So the question was, have we seen them actually eating something? And unfortunately, the answer is no, not so far.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let's zoom in on this video. Take it from a distance,
Okay,
and then
zooming
I'll.
in.
Yep, come on in. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, it's another one. Hold that, hold that.
Okay.
Jeez, there are
hold it.
loads of these around here.
Yep.
So
Another
what's the
one.
little white thing?
So that's its base. I mean, we're looking at it from a really weird
sort of
angle.
from,
So it's
like-
so it's like stalked, attached to the rock or sediment or rock, hard substrate, and then it extends into this big bulbous feature, which is essentially a really large mouth. So that's the
Is that
sort of the
by
end of the
No, that's
stalk.
in front. Never mind.
All right, Let's come on out.
Okay, zooming out.
Push ahead.
Those might win for my coolest biology of the last several dives.
Coming to the end of this move.
So we're definitely seeing more talus / rock and a little bit less sediment as we
Guys,
move up
okay
the slope.
for another 30?
It's getting a little steeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a ways off though, especially as we come up. I'd be fine with 30. I think, don't you, Jim?
You're right with another 30 call? Josh?
Very fragmented.
Nah, bridge move complete.
Pilot?
Can make it 20.
A little bit of a turn. Yeah, we could do another 30. How much more do we have to swing? That's
Chaotic,
the real
I would
question.
say.
Yeah. We haven't stopped long enough for me to really figure that out.
I don't think it's going to be more than 20, 30 meters, but...
Oh, no.
Well, let's swing out the end
Now,
of
do
this.
you have a moment?
You want to let this settle?
Yeah. Watch Leaf's calling you.
Nav?
When you have a chance, could you pull out a little on the high pack so
All right,
I can
come
see
on
how
in
close we
video.
are to the top?
Sure.
Zooming in.
Oh, very close. Thank you.
Yeah, we're...
Yeah.
100 meters from the top and not even, and 20 meters below it.
All right, come on in video.
So
Do you
there's
have any more?
Okay.
I don't think we're going to have anything very dramatic to cope with here
Oh, that's very sad.
in terms of topology.
That's
Okay.
next zoom. Okay, hang on.
So for those of you who are just joining us on today's dive, we are at Finanagu Caldera A.
So Josh, we're only 20 meters below the top.
This was the one that was assumed to be the youngest of this chain of
come on up, video.
calderas, and we believe that to be true. And so far, we have explored one of the two resurgent domes, which is a later
I just want to make
stage
sure we're not
of
going to find any
eruptive
surprises. We're
activity
getting
after the
some
calderas formed.
hardish returns.
And on
Maybe
the
run up and see what this is here.
Yep.
Feel comfortable with that? It could just be something
Hold on
like
a
what we're
second.
seeing
It's a
there.
drill.
The drill.
And on that dome, we were lucky enough to see a gorgeous extinct hydrothermal chimney.
All hands report to fire and emergency station. Stand clear of fire screen doors. Open fires and reporters in the motor room. This is a muster-only drill.
So, Jim, if you make that 2390 target
So
active,
for those of you who just heard
if you
through
right-click on it
the
and hit select,
telecon line, it was a drill. Don't
on
worry,
the,
we're all
on the
good.
left,
Everybody's happy.
where kind of behind
There's
that
not a fire on the
target
ship.
parameters screen
Unfortunately,
window
it's just
is,
so loud that it comes
it'll
through
update with, if you just
the
get rid of
comms
that
no matter
target
what.
parameters window.
But
Yeah, it'll update distance and
we
bearing
are moving
to
up
that
to the
target
top now
from
of the western
that's D2.
resurgent dome.
So
And
66 is the distance
we're hopeful to find something
come
at the
on in
top.
video.
to that active target.
So
Got
let's
it.
see what's going
Yeah,
on.
it's a little,
Coming in.
it's kind of a cheat to
Yeah, I didn't know that.
help. Yeah, I don't think people really use it, but it's handy.
Lots of sediment cover here. Again, it's interesting to me that there seem to be sort of ridges of this more solid rocky material with a very sediment-covered
So the ship is
section in
stopped.
between each of them, and maybe they are sort of periodic around the edge of the dome.
Let's get an estimate on the swing here.
I agree, Mary Jo. It's a really interesting morphology. It's interesting geology that we're getting to see today.
But when you drop
Yeah,
a new
maybe more
target,
zoom. Go for it now.
it makes that one active, just to let you know.
This fish has a really large head in comparison to its So this is another cuskeel, Orophidiid, possibly Basazetus. And you can just tell because it's got these beady little eyes and this really, really round characteristic head. Sort of looks like a tadpole.
Yeah, this is Bruce. I'm going to try this again to see if you can hear me more clearly. So the Basazetus, you're right. It has the really rounded head, the small eyes. We seem to see cuskills in that genus more often than other genera. And there are several species, more species over in the Western Pacific than there are in Hawaii. So I don't know if that came across any better. I'm trying to speak more loudly and closer to the microphone.
Bruce, that was fantastic. That's probably the first time on this whole dive that we heard you super clearly.
Okay, coming
so
out.
Whatever you did, keep doing it. It was great.
That's full wide.
Okay, I finally figured out where the microphones are in this apparatus that we've got, so that's the trick.
Excellent. Yeah, speaking into the mic often helps.
And I'm going to push ahead and look at that.
We had a question from over here from a visitor as to why this fish is shaped so much like a tadpole.
Okay, that's because this fish relies on different senses than fish in shallow water. You notice the eyes are very small. There's no sunlight at these depths. The only light that exists is that produced by other organisms. So fish don't rely on their vision. They rely on senses of smell and on vibration and maybe a little bit on hearing. So many of these deep sea fish have large nostrils for increased sense of smell. Some of them have larger inner ears for increased sound sensitivity. And in particular, the bodies of most of these are long and eel-like. They have vibration sensing cells along the sides of their body and a lateral line system. And they rely on sensing vibrations in the water or changing pressure to detect potential prey and potential predators. So the elongate shape, tadpole shape with the long tail, and then the large head with other senses than the eyes are adaptations for the deep sea environment.
Great. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Yeah.
Closed up.
Right.
So that was a brilliant shot of two of the same bivalves we've seen quite a couple of individuals of, with both of what we think are mantles extended. If it is indeed a bivalve, that is what it looks like.
I don't think Sirius is moving anymore.
And you saw that there was a smaller one next to the large one again, which is what we saw previously also.
I'd say go ahead and call that in, as long as pilot's okay with it. I think it's leveling off a little.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should we go right to the top?
Sure. Yeah. How far is the top?
70 meters.
No, I'd do like a
30, 35, and 35.
Yeah, just break it up.
Just in case. Another
bridge nav
on this video. I think we've already seen this guy.
They would like to do another move, please. 30 meters, bearing 275, 0.2 knots.
We're out there a ways. Forgive the tug.
All right. That's good.
Okay, zooming out.
Coming up.
It is.
Good copy, thank you.
It is rotating you, huh?
So this is another Hansenothuria sea cucumber or holothurian. We just saw one just like that before. And you could actually see the sort of full gut inside of its translucent body.
I still haven't made it
and then what Les was just suggesting about that bivalve was, as we saw that pair with a large individual and a small individual next to it, he was suggesting that perhaps the male is actually just sort of a diminutive male, which is seen quite a lot in other groups. So I guess that's just kind of a sexual dimorphism, which we do see quite a lot of in the deep sea.
Quick zoom here. I think it's just a rock, but...
Okay, quick zoom.
Yep.
I'm sorry, pilot. Did you say just a rock?
I meant nothing by it.
See, okay, there's the same association here. A small one next to a large one. The small one's just closed.
Where's the small one?
It was just to the
under the
left
rock
of it.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, be
And
very
then one
quiet.
of the large ones with the mantle extended.
So, do these tend to leave their mantles extended for a very long time? I notice they often shut them when we come by, but is that just because we're disturbing them?
I mean, Chris, want to chime in with that?
Do you have any more video?
Okay, zooming in.
Sorry, I'm trying to cut and paste the name of this beast into the event log.
fine,
There's
sir.
no way I'm going to try to respell it.
Be very sneaky.
What was the question again?
Why? Sorry, go ahead, Deb.
My question was, do they leave the mantle extended for a long period of time?
My question was, why is the mantle extended?
Because they can.
Told that. I'm just going to sit down.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Right when my toe hit.
I was going to say, did you poke it? Is
Nah,
that the problem?
I'm pretty far away. It's like when my toe hit, it decided it had had enough.
So it closed at the same time that we sort of bumped into the
To the
The
bottom.
slope.
Yeah. Right, come on out, video.
Okay, zooming out.
So we're super close to the summit of this second dome. Well, we're pretty close. And I think you can see this on stream 3. There should be the high pack bathymetry with the ship and the ROV. We've seen less hydrothermal alteration as we've traversed up this slope.
Quick zoom here. I bet this is another pair of those guys.
yeah,
Okay,
looks just the same.
zooming.
This is interesting.
Quite a lot of manganese coating, though, and if it helps
Another pair.
or is an interesting tidbit for people interested in that critter we just zoomed in on. While these look like rocks, I'm pretty certain that these are just manganese-coated sediments, and so the inside might be pretty mushy, and it just depends on how thick maybe the manganese coat is, whether these things are attached to like a solid hard surface
All right,
or
come on out,
something
video when
softer
you're happy.
inside.
Zooming
That's
out.
a very interesting point, Mary Jo, and that we've actually been fooled by that a little bit before. So these manganese crusts make it look like we're about to go pick up a rock, and in many instances, we've picked up what we thought was a rock and it crumbled, and sometimes it was just sediment, and in a few cases we've actually recovered a couple of rocks that were basically plastic sedimentary rocks with a manganese coating on them on this dive, on this expedition, not the dive.
And just the morphology of the stuff that we see on the seafloor here, how it's like draping along the slope of the dome that we're climbing. It looks very much like that manganese-coated sediment.
We're coming
stuff.
down to the end of this move.
Thanks.
You guys okay with giving it another 40?
I'm seeing the top right here. I think this is the ridge line.
I'd say maybe 30,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
just within sight of the top of this second local high that we were climbing up. Sadly, I don't think there's a hydrothermal vent
Zoom
chimney
in
at the
here.
top of it. I'm a little depressed right now.
Let's zoom in here, video.
Okay, zooming in.
Bridge nav.
Something on sonar. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Looks like we're right at the end of that move.
it's been there for a little bit.
Let's do one more just like that. 30 meters, bearing 2750.2 knots.
Once you're done here, you could run over and look at it if you want.
Good copy, thank you.
So this is a sea star, and I actually have no idea what type. Yeah.
Chris Ma.
I know, where is he? Chris, we need you. Call in.
Send out the sea star signal.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
It's like the Batman signal.
So for those of you listening at home, there is
Do you have any more
an
zoom?
expert
Go
who
for
likes
it.
to weigh in on our
yeah.
sea star descriptions.
Yeah,
That's
from the
nice.
Smithsonian.
That's
He's the echinoderm, especially sea star guy at the Smithsonian, Christopher Ma. Chris Kelly is suggesting this may be Henricea, but he can say he's definitely sure that it's in the family Echinostaridae.
Okay.
All right, let's pull out of this.
Okay, zooming out.
Get the lasers on him.
You want to just glance that way, see if you can see whatever that is?
Yeah.
Kind of follow you over. Could just be that hump there. Looks like it. Yeah, nothing.
Eva,
Protruding on yours.
Hey, Chris.
He saw it. Oh,
hey,
there you go.
thank you for that very nice little soliloquy you gave.
Looks like this might go around.
Because this looks like it might actually
go
be
around?
Maybe this is
Paulus
circular.
area.
It might have
you may
a
recall
depression
that
in the middle, you mean?
last year I
Yeah.
described a new
Something.
hydrothermal vent.
But that's not the way we're headed.
Okay.
Yeah, after
I'll-
Paul
I'll
Tyler,
go the
right?
other way.
Tyleri, named
Yeah.
after Paul Tyler at Southampton.
Unfortunately.
There was
Well, I mean,
another
we can go that
species
way.
called Polystereus macleani, which we saw in the caldera
I'll come
in the
back
North
to heading.
Pacific, collected by Ambari. And it was six-rayed and looked just like this. It was very soft body. I don't know how widely it occurs, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was it.
Okay, I'm on heading.
It's a tiny six-rayed, what's called a pedicelasterid-like animal. It belonged to in other words, it was very simple, sort of distantly related to
Can you
sort
zoom
of
on
familiar
Sirius?
ochre star or common sea star if you are on the
Zooming
west
on
coast of
Sirius?
North America or
It's kinda
the east
dramatic
coast of North America. We don't know a lot about them other than
Just
they're
gonna let
very
them come
small
in.
and occur widely. There are other six-rayed stars in the deep sea Atlantic.
Zoom
but,
on this video.
The one that they found in the North
zooming
Pacific,
in.
the one I was calling Polystereus, lives on basalt substrates in a manner very similar to this one. So this is probably, I'm going to be reckless and say, I think this is Polystereus, and it's really excellent to see it. It's definitely a range extension for this area, since I only described it last year and only then from the North Pacific. So that was really exciting. Thank you, and I hope we get to see another one, perhaps even maybe collect one.
Chris, before you go, can you spell that, please, so we can get it in the event log?
Certainly. It's Paul, P-A-U-L,
I've done it.
Asterias, A-S-T-E-R-I-A-S.
Okay.
Come on out, video.
Okay.
And out on Sirius when you get a chance to.
Thanks very much.
Thank-
I don't know if it might be McLean Eye, but I'm not sure.
Zoom on this guy too, this little guy.
Okay, thank you so much,
Go ahead.
Chris, for calling in and giving us all of that brilliant insight and also that great ID on an animal which is very dear to you.
Yeah, see, I went that way. Now I'm going this way. All right, come on out.
Okay, going wide. That's full.
So I assume we're approaching the summit of this local high.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, Watch Lead. So if you look at High Pack, I went north, and it's sort of a rim.
Yeah.
And I'm following it south, and it's curving to my starboard. So
was there a depression in the center?
So
It looks like.
that's what it seems like.
That's what it seems like.
Geologists, did you guys hear that?
If you look at the sonar, you can see it's angling off to my starboard.
Yep.
The rocks that we're looking at on
Makes
the
perfect
seafloor
sense
right
with that.
now, I think are igneous. I don't think this is sedimentary at all. You could see rocky surfaces on some of the fragments just a little bit earlier in the video frame.
Got to keep moving us around.
Yeah, let's put me somewhere.
Or maybe the pilots could test it by picking one up and squeezing as hard as they can and see what happens.
I think my current heading would get us to where he can follow the rim around.
So I think that's a very good point from both of you. So basically, the question is, are we looking at manganese-encrusted sedimentary stuff, or are we looking at igneous rocks? And I think there's a very good case to be made for
maybe
either,
it has.
which is always a problem when you're looking at black rocks covered in sediment. I think right now the pilots are kind of traversing around the summit. What they appear to see is a rim with a central depression. Is that correct, pilots?
That's the hypothesis right now.
That's the hypothesis that we're there's basically a little local low right in the middle of this. Once they've completed their traipse around the summit, maybe we can have them stop and see if they can just squash something to see if it's an igneous rock or a sed rock. Is that okay?
I'd maybe give me 20 to 260.
20 meters at 260.
Yeah, and then if, Josh, you want to work clockwise down and around?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, let's do that.
At least 20.
30?
Yeah.
Sure. Just don't want to get pulled off of the rim either.
Yeah.
Where would 30 put us, Nav?
Where would 30 put us?
That's serious.
30 meters from where it is, pretty much.
Yeah, on high pack.
So it looks like the center is probably here.
Let's see.
Just do 30, 260.
30 at 260 is
okay. Yeah,
about there.
That's what I was asking.
You like that?
Sure. Yeah.
Bridge nav. We'd like to do a move, please. 30 meters, bearing 260, 0.2 knots. Good copy, thank you.
Okay, yeah, look at my sonar here.
I'll come down for you a little bit.
Yeah, if you can. That was the heaving.
So we're still tootling along the top part of this western
14-ish.
summit within the caldera.
It's about as far down as
I keep hoping a hydrothermal chimney will pop up, but no luck so far.
Yeah, I think that's...
So I want to take this little quiet moment to say thank you again to all of the taxonomists that do help us in IDing many of these unknown animals, which we wouldn't be able to do. taxonomy is an incredibly difficult discipline, and it's sort of a dying discipline. As we're exploring the deep sea, we're ending up with more species than we know what they are and than we can describe. And the few taxonomists left in the world are essentially sitting there with shelves and shelves of material that they are struggling to get through and to get out into the public with names. So just like Krisma, I mean, he's the guy for asteroids, and we've got many other examples of scientists that call in, Bruce with fish and other people on the line. I can't name all of them, but it's just absolutely fantastic to see people that are so knowledgeable on the field that they work in, where they can just see an image and know what it is straight off the bat. And that's because they work with these animals all, day in, day out, and they love what they do. And it's a really rewarding profession, I think. So this is kind of a plug to any kids, if you're listening, or teenagers, and you're kind of wondering what you should do if there's something that you kind of like, then maybe consider going into taxonomy, I guess, and learning about as much as you can about one group of animals.
Did you want to
It's a really important and necessary part of science.
You got time if you want to do that.
Did you want to squeeze a rock, Watchley?
Yes, we would actually like to. We don't necessarily want to collect anything, but we'd like to pick something up and just maybe take a close-up view and then maybe squeeze it. What we're trying to figure out whether we're looking at igneous rocks or whether we're looking at more of that manganese-crusted sediment that we picked up before.
You're spun up.
Copy. What was that?
We have relief coming in 5 minutes.
Okay.
I think if it is a rock, maybe we should put it in the basket and bring it back to the top surface.
All right, so I'm also hearing from our shore-based side that if it is something we think is an igneous rock, we'd actually potentially like to collect it. So remember shoreside, that we can pick up generally about 2 rock samples and about 2 biology samples. Right now we've got 1 rock sample and 1 biology sample. So if this is the rock you would like, if we find a good one, we are happy to collect it. How does that one in the center look that they've got their lasers on?
I'm having trouble seeing. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, it looks like a fine test.
Mary Jo, I have trouble seeing it all the time. I'm like, where are the lasers? What's going on?
Oh, shoot, my fault.
Yep.
That was a radio.
It's a radio?
I think so.
Sorry, Jim.
No, my fault for putting it there.
And for the people who are watching along with us, we use the lasers to measure the size of the rocks or the biology that we're looking at. And so right in the center of the screen, you can see them right now, 2 little red dots, and they're 10 centimeters apart. So it also helps to notice how zoomed in we are sometimes on video. So if the red dots are pretty far apart, you know that we're zoomed in.
Our move is about done.
Copy. That's a good one.
So these rocks are definitely not in place. They are some kind of talus. Are we going to give it a good squeeze?
I am squeezing it hard.
You are giving it a good squeeze. So maybe this is an igneous rock. Can we pull it in and do a close-up on it?
Absolutely. Come on in, video.
Okay, coming in.
Stay out in the light here.
Patty.
You want to tilt?
Yeah, tilt me up.
What was that?
Hey, come
She
on
said
in.
good call.
Okay.
She was complimenting you,
Coming in.
Patty.
Oh, thank you. Yes, definitely a rock.
So that does look like a ropey lava top.
I'm here. What was the question?
Oh, we were debating.
Is this a rock? Is it rock or is it sediment?
Thank you, pilots.
I had said that this looks
How
like
much pressure is the jaw? Can he put more pressure on the jaw?
There is a lot of. I think they already tried that. They put a lot of pressure on it
come
already.
on out on the.
Don't break it.
Yep.
Coming out.
Gotta be ignorant.
So is that one going to go in the starboard rock box?
You can. If you want, I can grab it in a different manner and squeeze it.
Yeah, maybe put it down and grab it and give it another bit of pressure.
Yeah, I'm at. Let me see here. All right, this is maximum grip force.
Oh, good. Then we want to collect that one.
Okay.
All right, so we're collecting this rock that we really hope is igneous from fairly close to the top of this second dome, the more westerly dome inside Finanagu Caldera A. We're putting it into the starboard rock box. Thank you very much, pilots. And so we're getting a little more systematic about our rock collecting in that we gave it a pretty good squeeze in a couple of different directions to see if it was sedimentary, in which case we expect that it would break open, or if it was igneous, in which case we would assume it would not. So let's hope for the best that this one's actually an igneous rock. So, shore-based scientists, we are in the middle of a ROV watch change, and I think after we're done with the watch change, I think what we will do is go explore the Caldera Wall, continue on with our dive.
Ship stopped?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just going to follow along this ridge. Since ship stopped, you can just follow me with your.
So we're still trundling along this this ridge that we found at the top
Copy that.
of the more westerly dome, Dome 2.
Pilot, you're awfully quiet in my ear.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh, much, much better. Thank you.
Yep. And that's about the extent that I can reach at this point. So, I'll
So what we haven't found up here is any really big outcrop. It just sort of all looks the same.
It seems to
so
continue
far.
on along this
northern slope.
Yeah. But it's going to curve around, I think, is what Josh was saying.
It looks like it, because we got a big, it looks like the top of a...
Yeah, it's got a big top and a...
Yeah, pilots, what we were hearing on the last watch was that it looked like there was sort of a rim with a depression in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe if we put Sirius closer to the middle of the depression, I can drive around freely. If you just want to move north.
Okay.
Which way are you facing now? North.
About 300.
Let's cheat to 300, actually, just to...
Okay. Do you want to go to 300 or go slightly towards the middle one?
Do you want to ride the rim, or do you want to pop?
Yeah, why don't you go more north, actually, because I can see it starting to turn off that direction.
Why don't we try like 330 or something like that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. What about 20 meters?
How far are you from the middle? Do you
He
imagine?
kind of looks like he's there.
Well, he
was
bouncing. Okay.
I mean, it could be. Why don't we try 30 meters?
Okay. Yeah. 30 meters will put him close to where I am now, which will give me enough room to stretch out. So yeah, let's do that.
Copy that. Bridge nav. Hey, can we get a ship move of 30 meters at bearing 330 at 0.2 knots, please? Good copy.
Should have done 3/10, then you could have said a bunch of threes.
Need all threes, please. It looks like our waypoint is generally west, and it's going to be going up another cliff face, but not too steep. 300 meters away or so.
Copy that.
Thank you, Bridge.
When do we have to be off on?
We got about an hour and a half on bottom 4 to prepare and come up.
Copy that.
Off bottom time is 15:15 local
Bob.
or 3:15 by that UTC.
So
really
are we trying to
very
make it to
different
waypoint 2
between
there?
these
I actually don't know. I can
between these two
discuss with the
Yeah.
watch leads and see if they've changed.
Yeah, let's see if let's make sure we want to head there, and if we do, then
Okay.
Nav, would you like to have a conversation?
Sure. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay.
let's get cut off on
So I see waypoint 2 is over there to the west, about 300 meters. And we have about 90 minutes on bottom left. What's our main goal here?
I think what we'd like to do is head over to the wall of the caldera and do a little bit of upslope traversing.
So basically directly west of where we are. Okay. All right, we can do that.
You want me to come down?
I caught that. We're gonna yes, please. We're gonna settle in on this. Don't come down too low. Keep an eye on your sonar.
Yeah.
So
are we gonna look at what, Patty?
The holotherian.
I think that's an animal.
Come on in.
Okay, zooming in.
Yep.
So shore-based science team, we're going to take a look at whatever
We're
this
bouncing around a little because
What
I'm
is that?
stretched here, but we're gonna see what it is here.
is. Is that another holotherian?
It does look holothurian-like. No color. Very white, clear this time.
I don't want to go down much further.
And then
Copy that.
Eating on.
What we're
Anyway,
gonna
so
do-
I don't know if you heard our little discussion back there. They do want to end up climbing the caldera to the west.
They want to go to the west. Okay.
So-
Did you want to try to check out the rest of the rim of this before we head west, or just go west?
I think we've wandered around at least part of it so far.
Okay.
And haven't seen anything that's of amazing interest to us.
Okay.
So I think now, how much time do we have left on the bottom?
Hour and a half, I think.
An
you
hour
said?
and a half. I think
Yeah.
it's probably time to move over and try to explore the caldera wall.
Okay. You can come wide, video.
Okay, going wide.
And I will go ahead and put in a ship move
Yeah.
after we turn our heading a little bit there. But
Back
I mean, it
towards-
really looks 270 degrees.
So,
West.
biologist, why was there so much more light?
Question is, how big a jump do you want me to make? Because it does get kind of flat up here, but you may be going downhill, so, you know,
Yeah.
your risks, you know better than me.
If we're going downhill, then
Well, it could be that it was a little bit
will-
more
want to just jump
consolidated
across rather
substrate,
than...
but I don't know. It doesn't look that different to
Well,
me.
let me land. Let me get up above
Maybe
the edge
difference in
here.
current flow further out in the
come up
center
a
of the
little.
crater versus
Come
near
up.
the wall.
Thanks.
So I think also, Bob, that
see if I can
there's
catch it on
quite
sonar
a sort of
to give us
projection
sort of
of the
an idea
seafloor difference between the two
how far
mounds.
it
So the
is.
first
What do
one
you
we were
measure
looking
at?
I think is a good deal
What do you measure
taller
that
than the
distance, that
second
hop
one.
at?
Yeah, so I'm going to check
and that
right
means
now.
that
I mean,
all
it
of those
looks like it
animals
straight up just goes.
projected much
How
higher
about
up
the
into
middle
the
of that
sea,
big
into
section?
the water
Go
column,
right to the
where they
middle of
can
the... Yeah, right
suspension
there.
feed
Right here.
and get more food.
This section.
So I
right
guess
here.
it's just more of an
Yeah,
advantage
we're
to just
looking at,
position for them to be
125
higher.
meters.
Yeah,
Therefore,
so
they're going to
we're
be
gonna
on the
wanna-
higher seamount.
You want a big old jump there?
Sorry, resurgent
Yeah,
dome.
we could do it in a couple
Remergent.
big jumps.
Resurgent dome.
But I'm just going to push out in the blue water a little here and see if I can catch it on sonar. If you want to follow me, co-pilot, your camera. See if I can. You want to push me out to 50 on Sirius, please?
Sirius is out at 50. Do you want me to push you out at 50 on D2?
Yes, please. Yep.
I'm at
2 up to 50.
Sirius at 271 right here. So
Copy that.
this is a good direction.
Yeah, we're lined up on the west here.
Yep.
Something biological that they'd be eating.
We're looking west 50
So,
meters and don't see
we
a
had
single
some
blip,
confirmation
so we can go
from
ahead
a hydrothermal
and do at
vent
least
mollusk
50 meters.
expert, as well
Okay.
as several of the scientists
Ridge
in our
nav.
chat log.
You want me to drop down a little bit or stay here?
And we're thinking it is.
How are we looking on that
Debrias?
last ship move?
I'm not
Am I
sure if I'm
sinking?
pronouncing that properly.
Okay,
Virginas.
well, right
But anyway,
after this,
those
can
in
we
the
go ahead and put in a
hydrothermal
move?
did rise up.
Well, actually, let's just
Half
cancel
mode.
this one where it is,
Yeah,
and let's go
listed
ahead and
as
put in a
detritus
50-meter ship
detrital
move
feeders, so
at
basically they just kind of
270
at
mosey
0
along,
decimal
picking
2 knots,
up
please.
any of
We'll
the
let you travel a
sort of,
little
I guess,
ways.
flock, or
Keep me in
if
view,
there is
and I'll
any
come
bacterial mat
make
or
the blue
so
jump
forth, but they
as
are said to be
unabrasive as
endemic
possible.
to hydrothermal vents, and they
Don't wanna
are
spend too
found
much time in the
around
blue
the
water.
Marianas
Yeah,
region.
copy that.
0 decimal 2 knots, please.
Looks like about
But
50
that's
meters
about,
till we're
I
done
d-
doing
so basically, I
downhill, so
don't
this
think any of
50-meter
them
jump
would
will
be
hopefully
coming
get us
from
out there.
the minerals per se. It would be sort
To
of
where we
more
can
that they're
drop
feeding
back
on
down again.
detrital matter, which may have settled on the chimney.
Okay, watch.
Okay, thank
sorry.
you. That's interesting.
Watch lead pilot.
So, Diva, if you see species that
Here
are
we
found
go.
on hydrothermal vents,
This is something to look
Sorry.
at.
but you don't
Yes.
see
Okay.
them dancing, what does that mean?
What was the last bit of that question, Bob? If I see species that are found on hydrothermal vents, but what?
Here,
If you
not on
don't
it,
see
then.
any hydrothermal activity, what does it mean?
Sirius is looking down at you at 61.
Perfect, thanks.
So because
You come in
these,
partial video.
I don't think these
might
animals
wanna
are
see this stuff, I
reliant
don't know.
on the hydrothermal vent fluid. As I said, they're detrital feeders, and so they're
That's
not
partial?
using that fluid
Go a
or
little more.
anything that will be
Over
directly
there.
related to that hydrothermal vent. I think they're more, even though they aren't supposedly endemic to
We've
hydrothermal
seen
vents,
these,
basically
huh?
they'd be
Is it
eating.
possible
Sorry, go on, Bob.
Is it possible that some hydrothermal species, once the hydrothermal field dies, can adapt to a new food chain?
Sneaking out a little
No,
video.
so I think
sorry.
it's more that, so that particular
Yeah,
species,
the
for
whole thing.
instance, when there is hydrothermal fluid present, there is a lot more bacterial flock around, of course, and much more bacterial mats and other things. So it
Okay.
probably just has a richer
Come
food
out. I
source.
guess it's
And
not
now
much
that
interest.
that vent is extinct,
Thanks.
they are still subsisting there, but just in very, very low populations, and just
Let me know
feeding
when you're
off
looking
of
at me at like 80.
any
I'll push
flock
out.
that is unrelated to the
See if I
hydrothermal
can
vent
catch something.
chimney and
Copy.
any other detrital matter that may end up there.
And,
Does that answer your question, Bob?
once that happens, you can drop a little too.
Yeah.
Nav watch lead. Or the other way around. I can't remember which.
Go ahead, watch lead.
So we're clear on what we're doing, right?
We are heading up the caldera to the west, correct?
Yep, that's what I think too.
Making our way to waypoint 2, and if so, beyond.
Is it going to be, are we going to have to fly there, or are we going to be able to keep the bottom in contact?
We're going to do a jump over the depression here, but after that, we'll be able to just go along as we normally do.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for letting me know.
We're at 80.
Thanks. I'll work hard to keep the bottom and keep the view as interesting as possible while we do it, but there will be a little blue water.
Completely understood. Thank you.
Yep.
Coming down a little bit.
Yes, please. Thanks. I was just going to say.
Yes?
Oh, sorry. Talking to my co-pilot. I don't have you last right now. Okay. Yep.
So we're going to be moving over to the wall of the caldera. It's going to be the last portion of our dive here at Finanagu Caldera A.
What have you got for an altitude? Okay.
Once the ship gets
Don't let
moving
that
and the
altitude break,
ROV has the
15
chance
or
to go
something.
in the
Copy.
direction we
For
need to
now.
go, which is due west,
Holding
we're probably going to
downhill.
hop over just a little depression, so we might be flying for a little bit, but very soon we will then land on the wall of the caldera, and we'll make our way upslope.
Care to snap on this at all, watch lead, or is this are we all right? Keep going.
Diva?
Sorry, what was that?
There's something here. Do you want to snap on it?
Yeah, if you have time,
Go
then
ahead.
you can very quickly snap on it. Thank
Snapping
you.
on it.
I'll just anytime I see a stock or something that looks biological, we're
We
zooming in a
appreciate
little,
it,
yeah.
Jeff. Thanks.
But let me know if I'm doing it too much and you're not interested.
So this is an octocoral.
Come down a little bit, give you a little more here.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Bob?
Not much heave, so yeah, keep it right around 15.
Yep.
Go ahead, Rita.
Yeah, so as I was saying, this is an octocoral. I think it's the same icidid which we've been seeing quite a lot of during this dive. That's all I got.
Great.
Go ahead,
video.
Bob.
Okay, coming wide.
Pushing on. More of the same. Do a little jump in this direction. See if there's anything interesting. You're facing west still, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Heading slacks west, so.
Roger. I'll sidle along to the port.
Navigator, how what was the speed on that move?
Last move was 0.2 knots.
Okay.
So just to continue my thought, so these two domes are very, very different.
We'll come down a little bit.
The first dome has got this spectacular evidence of very recent hydrothermal activity and is a much richer biology. This one looks older, more degraded.
Can't chase it too much video, but if you want to snap on a fish,
because of this cloudy appearance.
Okay.
go for it.
And dead, barren, right next to this other thing. I wonder if there isn't still some venting on the first dome, and that's what those hydrothermal species are telling us.
I did look my camera up a little bit. I'm only at
Okay, so
68.
here we got a fish, and I can see a very obvious parasite on its back. If we could, do we have any more zoom?
We do. That's max zoom.
So this is a macrourid, which is also known as a rat tail.
Video, thanks.
And you can see the white object on its, what I'm guessing is its dorsal fin.
Thank you very much.
And that's basically a parasitic crustacean of some kind. Maybe an isopod, or maybe, I'm thinking isopod rather than copepod.
Oh, there's some interesting something. Some coral maybe, or I don't know.
Whoa, yeah, can we look at that?
We are headed that way as we speak.
Bruce is saying that that particular fish was another one of the Kumbo ones, which we saw towards the beginning of
this might
the
be
dive. Oh no, that's rocks.
Yeah, that's a rock.
That looks hydrothermal.
Follow those rocks.
Can you follow that back upwards? Can we stop the ship and move back up?
I'm going to come down a little bit.
We are looking at small chimneys here.
Yep.
I mean, we can move the ship.
On the edge of this mound. So those
if necessary.
are what we're calling chimettes.
We've always called them chimlets, Patty.
We still
call
got
them
7
chimlets.
meters left in this move, so I mean, I can.
Chimlets or giblets or chimettes.
Giblets? We'll call them giblets.
So actually, do you want to look at these longer?
Yeah, can we stop and...
hold the ship right where we are.
What we'd like to
Bridge
do
nav.
is not just look at them, but then try to trace them. Oh, it looks like there's
Can
more
we go
in the
ahead and
back
hold the
behind
ship
there,
right
doesn't
here,
it?
please?
Yep, absolutely.
So we want to wander around this area because...
Very yellow.
Yeah, once we start seeing them here, we may be able to find where they are. Oh, let's look in Sirius too.
Yeah, you can turn your heading.
Copy.
Starboard.
What is that? You're just kind of eyeballing a ridge right here. So again, this is extinct hydrothermal.
Getting some weird
there's
readings on the sonar there.
Nothing alive on this right here, which does not stop it from being exciting.
I'm going to winch up a little